Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazine. A new film called Life Ahead is coming your way, and it stars the iconic Sophia Loren and directed by, ironically, her son, Edoardo Ponti. Miss Lorenz, I'd like to start with you. Like Rosa, you have a personal experience with World War II as well. Luckily, not as extensive as hers. But what did going through that, what kind of imprint did that have on your life?
The war.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did the war change your life?
But I was 5 years old, I think. Yes. And it was really something that it's like a nightmare for me and for my sister. Not for we couldn't sleep anymore. We couldn't do anything anymore. We couldn't go to school anymore.
There was no food.
There was no food. There was nothing, really nothing for us to look forward to and to be our age. It was really terrible. And even nowadays, just when I'm living, when I'm doing things, when I'm doing also the film, sometimes these thoughts come to my mind and they give me a lot of strength to be able to live another kind of life so much different from the one that I had when I was a little kid. It was really awful.
And Eduardo, obviously, your leading actor sitting next to you, there's a certain confidence level you had as a director working with her. But her co-star, that little boy, had not really done a lot before. Talk about navigating these two personalities into this performance.
Yeah. Not only did he not do a lot of movies before, he had done none. This was his very first film. And maybe a month before even entering the audition, he didn't even think that he would be an actor. So that's how far we went. But when you pair actors, the most important thing to begin with is the chemistry they have. And the chemistry isn't only how they emotionally feel with one another on the screen or as a relationship. That's, of course, very, very important. But also what's important is to make sure that their work ethic is the same. Because if the work ethic is the same, what happens behind the camera ends up contributing what's in front of the camera. And when I met Ibra, I was really struck by what a perfectionist he was and how responsible he was, what a hard worker he was, how focused he was, and how prepared he was. All qualities that my mother shares with him, all things that she absolutely has. So I knew that not only were they right together, not only aesthetically, but emotionally, because he has an immense heart, and my mother, also does. So that, of course, helps. But I knew that also they would respect each other mutually through their work ethic. And so that was one of the most important thing. And then what was very important, really, the most important thing to create the relationship was to demystify Sophia Loren in his eyes, to make sure that when he looked at her, he didn't look at her through the eyes of all the stuff that he read and that he had seen and that other people, I'm sure, told him about my mother. Oh my God, you know who you're going to act opposite of. But that he saw the woman that I was raised by. So what I did is we all lived together during the shoot. So for 2-3 months, we were all in the same house, so that when he saw my mother, he saw her in the morning. He saw her over breakfast. Sometimes I would catch them to sit on the bench in the backyard doing nothing but just stare at the ocean. And so those experiences outside of the set environment absolutely enriched the experience for him and for my mother in front of the camera to create that relationship that could be as authentic as possible.
It was wonderful. Since the beginning, it was wonderful. Yes,
You
absolutely.
talked about demystifying Sophia Loren, but there's one aspect of your character in the movie that I think we can all relate to, and that is our secret spot. She goes into the basement. She has her little special room that she goes to. Where is your secret spot? Where do you go when you kind of want to get away and just have a moment for you?
In my room. In my room, I read. I see pictures of my youth, I relive a little bit my life, because now, of course, that we live in a very strange way, you know. It's very, very difficult to get up in the morning and don't really know sometimes what to do and what to think and what is expecting you for the future, for a year. You know, it's really very, very difficult sometimes. But otherwise, I think about what I have in my life. Mostly, what really brings me up is that I know that I have a wonderful family, and they're always there, even though sometimes they're not with me. But they call me, and I hear voices that I know very well. And sometimes I cry, sometimes I am a little bit unhappy, because that's not the kind of life that I would have chosen for myself and for my family and for the world. You know, it's incredible. I hope it's going to be okay very soon.
Well, it's a terrific movie, and I think what's one of the wonderful things about it is it showcases that it's okay to age. That's good.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That's right.
Thank you. Yes.
Sophia, Eduardo, the movie is called A Life Ahead, and this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao.